I'm Kirsten Stanisich and I'm a director of Richards Stanisich. There was no one in my family that was in design or architecture, but there's always been a really strong sense of craft, I think, that came through my family. And my grandfather, my dad's father, was basically a Croatian peasant, and they grew up and they had to do everything, from making their shoes to making the bread.
I'm Jonathan Richards, director of Richards Stanisich. I had a very happy middle-class childhood in the western suburbs of Sydney. I was one of three boys. We were on a street that was a cul-de-sac in suburbia. Played all the sort of Aussie stuff like street cricket and street football.
Where my family came from, design wasn't a thing, but I think they did love design without knowing that they were loving design. So I think that definitely got put through our sort of DNA.
I was aware of buildings. If anything, I have to say I think I was probably on reflection naive when I was at primary school and even into secondary school about even what architecture was. I thought it was really heritage buildings, old buildings, and being a young teenager, to be honest with you, I didn't really have an interest in that.
I actually started an arts degree at Melbourne Uni, and originally, because I loved ancient Rome, I liked Latin. I probably decided about halfway through the first year, this isn't the right thing for me, what do I want to do? And then I applied for architecture at Melbourne Uni and got in, and then I started architecture.
I wanted to be an artist. Music was something I could easily move forward with. The other one was I loved drawing and painting. When I left school, I was admitted into the interior design course at UTS. It wasn't my first choice, and I started it, I loved it. I stuck to it and finished with a Bachelor of Design in Interior Design from UTS.
So my first job was with Bruce Henderson, for the local architects basically, for the Hard Rock Cafe. That taught me a lot about hospitality to start with, because it was kind of very American kind of approach. So I was there for 2 years, and then after that I moved to SJB as an architect. And originally they brought me in because they were working on some extra work at Crown Casino. I couldn't believe it when I was working on this nightclub. It was just like nothing I had ever imagined. It was crazy and it was a lot of fun, and I really got enamoured by interiors at that point.
I got into interior design, never really thinking that it was permanent. I felt like architecture was an unresolved issue for me, and Kirsten studied architecture and got into interior design. I studied interior design and decided I wanted to become an architect. I achieved that, and then I became a registered architect doing the registration exams, and that was for me a really significant thing, that we moved into Richards Stanisich as architects and interior designers.
The biggest, the best, the most challenging, the hardest, the most exciting was, going out and rebranding under our own names. I think going out on your own, there's a few different ways of doing it. You either start young and just do it naively and make a few mistakes and not worry so much about the money at that stage, or you really get some great grounding for you and you do it a bit later and you know exactly what you're kind of doing, do it more methodically. And I don't think that there's a right or wrong answer, but you absolutely have to have the passion and the grit to do it.
But I do think that together we have created a very special design partnership. A lot of our clients that come to us for architecture are saying that the point of difference is that we are interior designers and designing from the inside out. I think Kirsten and I are feeling even more attached to design and more passionate about the details of design, the small details of design and the big ones as well, and the stuff, it's funny, the stuff that we were very passionate about at the beginning of our career together, and colour and texture and light and all that stuff. For me, and probably the same for you, I'm actually feeling even more passionate about, and I want to stay involved in that.
I'm looking forward to that period when I'm 80 and I can look back and it's all going to make sense, and we're going to look at this story together and we go, I can tell where our heads were at when we were 25 or when we were 30 and see that thread coming through.